Hiphoptictacticians of the world.
And we're back. We're back.
And we're back.
For a new season, 2025.
Yeah.
Wow.
And back from the tropics to that wind that hurts your face.
It's not nice, is it?
No.
True.
No, I hate this. So this is the last time you guys will hear me until May. I'm going to take a long nap, and you can wake me up around Easter.
Okay. No problem.
Man, I hate winter.
Oh my god. Well, you spent quite a bit of time in the sun, so I can kind of understand.
Yeah,
why.
it was pretty awesome. So my birthday is January 3rd.
Yes.
Which is a very bad time of year to have a birthday. Everybody has spent all their money on Christmas and all of their energy on New Year's.
Oh yeah.
And they're partied out. They don't want to see anybody.
And they're broke.
42. I'm 42. I'm speaking from experience. This isn't like a one-off where like, oh, I had a party and no one showed. No, my whole life.
Your whole life. Yes. Tell us how you really feel.
I had a birthday party when I was like 5 or something.
Yeah.
And then my parents had this idea where they're like, oh, let's like do something as a family for your birthday. And that happened when I was a kid. But then when I was an adult, nothing for many years. I threw myself a 25th birthday party. We called it the Class to Trash Birthday Bash. And we started with cocktails at the Proof Bar in Yorkville at the Intercontinental. And we finished at the beer station in the Annex.
But you remember the whole thing?
I remember throwing up in the alley and the girl that I was dating at the time leaving me there. Anyways,
carry on.
Year, Isabel said summer birthdays are better. Her birthday's in July. She's like, summer birthdays are the best. You know, you both know.
Well, I don't know.
Birthdays 2 days. What do you mean you don't know?
July birthdays are better than August. If you're at the end of August like me,
your birthday's not a week after Christmas.
I don't care. Everybody's on summer vacation. Nobody's around for me.
Yeah, but if you call up 2 of your friends and say, let's go to the beach and hang out, guess what they're going to do?
If they're here,
they're going to go to the beach and hang out. They're not going to say, oh, no, I'm still hungover from New Year's and I don't have any money because I spent it all on Christmas.
Okay. You whined at the end. You win that back. I'll give you that.
So anyway, she convinced me that summer birthdays are better. It didn't take much convincing. So she said, let's give you a summer birthday. So we had already purchased a cruise vacation for the kids for like the week after my birthday. So we said, since we're flying down there anyway, let's fly down a few days earlier so that I can be in warmth for my birthday. And it was the only way I'm going to get older from now on.
Yeah.
I'm never not doing that.
You can't not do it. Like it's over now.
Yeah, I can't. It's not going to happen. I turned 42 standing on the sidewalk outside of Senior Frogs while they played Turn the TV Off by Kendrick and Mustard.
That's the best.
Yeah, this is dope. And I was in my shorts.
Perfect. With your hat on.
It was too cold for shorts. I shouldn't have been wearing shorts in Orlando at midnight on January 2nd.
True.
But it was good enough for me.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Mustard!
Now you're going to have to beat that next year and the year after and the year after.
Yeah. Yeah, but let me tell you what I don't like, and that's air travel.
How come?
Okay. So there's small print, and you're supposed to read that. And I didn't do the booking, so I'll admit I didn't have a chance to read that. But the person booking it obviously didn't read that.
Okay.
It costs $100 US to bring on a carry-on now.
I think perhaps
it's different airlines that do it, yes.
But to give that person a bly, I think that was just implemented.
Yes. And we were able to like talk our way out of it. But good. For a family of 4 and that's the exchange rate, that's an extra $600 tap at the airport.
Oh, absolutely. Because your kids are going to have a carry-on.
And then when you get back, even if you park in the discount lot for the
Oh,
amount of days we were gone, it was $270.
good
So
God.
by the time you factor in if we had to pay that baggage fee both directions and the parking, you're looking at like $1,500 just in extra fees at the airport.
Ugh, that,
And our cruise ship docked at like 8 in the morning and our flight wasn't until 9 at night.
I
So
saw that.
so
Noticed
by the
that.
time we're on the and that we booked it that way. We were going to do stuff in Tampa during the day. It ended up being,
Okay.
but it's like, damn, like I could be in like Tennessee or Kentucky by now or Indiana or something, like almost home driving and
Yeah.
spend like $60 at a Super 8 on the side of the highway, sleep for 4 hours and be home by lunch. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. The fact that you said Super 8, I almost just cried.
Well, I'm painting an accurate description. I'm not stopping on the side of the interstate at the Ritz Carlton.
True indeed. True indeed. Too funny.
We travel, but we're still normal people.
I can appreciate that.
So
Oh my
how was your holidays?
my no, Zach. How was his, man?
I don't know. I was just kind of fucking. I probably shouldn't be swearing right off the bat. I also haven't really spoken much. How you doing, listeners? Um, I've been reading a lot. That's what's new with me. I got through a bunch of books over the holidays. It's been good.
Oh,
What
that's awesome.
books?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
What kind of books?
So right here we got the one I'm reading right now. It's called The Surrender Experiment. Uh, by Michael Singer. This is about like uh, spirituality to summarize it in one word, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. But also, I mean, there's this biography on Steve Jobs that I've been going through. I have this graphic novel. It's
Is
about
it the Walter Isaacson one?
It is, yeah.
That's a really good book, man.
It's a solid one. I got this graphic novel. It's about a serial killer that I'm going through at the moment.
What's it?
Sorry?
What's the name of the graphic novel?
From Hell.
Who's the author?
Alan Moore.
Oh,
You
snap!
know it?
Kurt talks about that one,
It's
actually.
really. I mean, I'm only, I don't know, 20 pages into it, but it's good.
Yes.
It's good.
Alan Moore, he's a great writer.
I love graphic novels. I think that's a great way to get people that aren't into reading into reading. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Not that I'm not into reading. I love reading stuff like this, but yeah, it's fun. Those are fun reads. I have like fun reads and then serious reads. I have two categories. You know.
You gotta have that. You
Yeah.
gotta have.
I've almost finished a book that I started reading a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Which-
I had lots of time on the cruise to read.
Of course.
It's called Dilla Time,
Oh,
and it was about like the life of Jay Dilla, but also like his pattern structure.
yeah.
Man, he sounds like a very difficult person to work with. Like, wow, that would have been like geniuses are often hard to work with, but damn, he just sounds very difficult.
For real? Do you have like an example?
So, okay, two examples are. So, have you heard of the group Frankendank?
Yes.
Okay, so they recorded a whole album, and was supposed to be released on MCA.
Right.
And then he had some revelation that he didn't like any of the beats.
None of them.
Oh, yeah, none of them that he had made. And so he delayed the album and said, "Don't worry, like we can keep your vocals. I'll just redo all the beats." And during that time, MCA got merged by, I think it was Universal.
That's what I was about to say. I think.
And that's when like only Mary J. Blige and like two other artists from MCA survived, and everybody else got dropped.
Yeah.
And their shit would have been out otherwise. So that's one example. And he did something similar before that with Slum Village, where he made them record their entire album to a metronome, and then he felt inspired off their rhymes to make the beats. And it turned out to be a good product, but that's why the rapping is not anywhere comparable to the beats.
Yeah.
I'll write some stuff and come in and record it to a click.
How do you? Well, they were able to do it, but still, that's a little odd.
And yeah, just a lot of like, yeah, I don't think I would have enjoyed collaborating with this fella very much.
You'd have rebuttal after rebuttal. I'm more than sure.
And yeah, I knew how the book was going to end too.
Right.
Like,
How?
well, he dies of lupus.
Okay.
But,
Clearly, they're gonna end it like
man,
that.
it just wasn't a feel-good way to spend like the last day of the cruise reading that part of the book.
Oh, jeez. You should have saved that.
That's why I haven't quite finished it yet. I was like, this is actually kind of depressing right here by the pool and all these people like dancing
Having
and stuff
fun.
to the music. I'm like, yeah, I might finish this when I get home.
Yeah. It's a good call. Good call, man. Good call. Holy smoke. But you had a good time. That's good too, man. I appreciate everyone having good times when they're out in the sun.
Yeah, and there's a couple shows coming up that I wanted to talk about as well.
They're coming up like in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
serious.
I should call a rehearsal for these fellas.
I think you should.
They're very good, but they're always down to rehearse too. That's Underground Soul Volume 2 happening on February 1st at Bond Street Event Center, and that's V1 the Architect, Eddie Jones, Pound Banger, and Zeppo.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good
I
one.
might bring like actual turntables for that.
I feel like you should.
It's a lot of extra failure points in the technology.
It is, but you're gonna have to be on your A
I'm
game.
going to be totally honest with you. It's a lot of extra failure points in the technology.
It's also just like a
And
whole.
I'm the only one that cares.
You're the only one that carries too. It's a whole extra.
That's the thing. I've carried those stupid things to so many places where like I could have just done the gig off my phone.
Oh, good God, Jay.
No, I'm dead serious though, right? Like
He's not wrong.
there's certain settings that call for a grand piano, and then
Sure.
other settings that call for just like a little keyboard.
Gotcha.
For the same, it could be the same player, right? It depends on the setting.
And then
Right.
there's other situations that require just like a little keyboard app on your phone. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You don't even need like a whole keyboard. You know what I mean? It's just-
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't get put in many situations where I need to bring the grand piano.
Sure.
Usually, the motif on a good solid stand is good enough for me.
Motif.
The motif would be like my Rain 1. It's still got turning platters and stuff, but it's not
So
the
what
grand piano.
make you say that you might bring out the Belladonna for February 1st?
It's that shit.
I figured it was going to be something like that.
It's just that shit.
So I think you should do it, man.
Like there might be a little room for improvisation and scratching and stuff, and it's that shit.
That shit.
But also, you can't be greedy too. Some of these places don't have big stages, and if you're putting 3 MCs on stage and you're taking up 3/4 of it with your record players,
Snap.
just to
There's
play their
no-
instrument, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
you
But
gotta
this
know
location-
kind of where to fall into place.
But you know what this location is like, though, right?
Yes and no.
How?
So there's 3 rooms at this location, and I've played in 2 of them.
Okay.
And this is the one that I haven't. So there's a room downstairs for I think I want to say 300 to 400 people,
Okay.
and that's 222.
Right.
And then upstairs, I think it's just called Bond Street Event Center,
Okay.
and that's where we did the first Harley G show, and it's capacity for 1,400, I want to say.
That's not bad.
And then there's
But-
a lounge.
Location where the DJ booth was nowhere near the stage?
No, that was at 504.
Okay. Sorry.
That was the second one. And then there's a lounge that I haven't seen yet, and that's where we're doing it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, and I think that the type of music for Underground Soul plays better to like a lounge style than
A big room.
They're not going to get 1,200 people or 1,400 people or whatever.
Okay.
They're not even going to get 400 people. It's going to be people like ourselves that like are just there to vibe to them. We're not there to party. Like it's
Right.
really good music that we want to enjoy. It's
Right.
music. It's art snobs.
Art snobs.
Oh, if you're not an art snob, you should come to this anyway because it's really good music. But if you are an art snob and you're not from it, like that's the thing. Like the type of lyricism and the hooks that are on this music and the beats that they make, like they could hit the hip hop people, but they can also hit like the theater snobs. Do you know what I mean? It's like Soul Aquarian shit.
See, yeah, I get you.
Do you know what I mean? Like you could put on like Dwelle or D'Angelo or The Roots or Common and hit the hardest of hip hop fans, but you could also hit like the fruitiest of theater snobs too.
Very true. Very true.
And I didn't mean that in a derogatory form. I just meant to paint a
paint a picture. Yeah.
Like a contrast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you said Dwelle. I cannot stop listening to Flashing Lights. I just can't. I just can't stop listening to it.
But hit you with the Oduopti.
I love that. Love it. But yo, what about that gig that you and Zach had? Was it in Belleville?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Talk about it.
Robbie G. Shout out my guy Robbie G for inviting us out to that.
He does a great stage show.
He does.
Yeah.
Like the energy that guy has on stage and the dedication level of his fans. We didn't sell out. It was very bad weather that night.
Oh.
Or maybe we did sell out and like the people that bought the tickets couldn't come. But it wasn't like a very packed place.
Okay.
The people that were there knew all the words to all his songs.
Oh shit. His catalog is crazy.
Yeah.
So many. It's insane.
Holy smokes. Continue though.
Zach did a really great set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. That's what I do. That's what. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds a little. Yeah.
No, but like no, seriously though. Like
no,
now's the chance for you to step out of the like.
Here's the thing. What I will say is like
Nashville radio host and spit your cocky MC swagger.
Here's the thing. One thing I will say is I kept moving around like it was a packed room. That's one thing that I look back on. I'm like, every time that I like turned over and I looked over here and I realized there was no one there, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no one here. But that's okay.
Hey, you know what? Like, hey, someone got a good picture of you and me.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't. It was a live video, and I took a screenshot. But
yeah. This one girl filmed it, put it on her story. There's, I don't know. I think I said during my set, like shout out to all 30 people here or something like that. But
my god, Zach.
So the interesting part of the night for me, Robbie G and his production team or whatever you call it, which isn't a huge squad, brought their own sound system.
Oh.
And well, because it's not a huge bar and they don't have like great stuff.
Okay.
So Zach and I helped load in.
Okay.
And then after the show, Zach and I were helping load out. And what I didn't realize was that the bar had a sound system. So why did we bring all this shit in? And I went in, I brought a load out, came in, went to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, well, I'll grab a speaker and put it in the van. The bar manager, this, I forget her name, but it was just like, I'm going to guess like she had to be in her 60s.
Late 50s, early 60s, yeah.
Yeah. Hispanic woman comes, Jason, you're lucky I don't kill you. And I'm like, what? And she's like, this is our speaker. And I'm like, I didn't know. Like, why didn't we just use this then? Like,
yeah.
You're trying to, I'm like, I'm not trying to steal. I don't need your speaker, lady. I'll kill you. This is escalating very quickly. Let's go home, Zach.
Yeah. Belleville.
Wow.
So shout out to LaBelle Pub.
Even like when I
go there, make sure you don't like
I've been trying to
accidentally
incorporate.
help out on a teardown.
Jesus.
I've been trying to incorporate like interacting with the crowd in terms of like asking them about their city, like you know what I mean. When I was in Moncton, I asked someone where to get food, and they didn't really have much of an answer for me because there's not much in Moncton. But um, uh, in Belleville, I tried to ask one of the girls in the front. I was like, "What goes on in Belleville? What happens here?" She's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Okay, that's not much to go off. All right."
Yeah,
You tried crowd
don't.
work. You tried.
You
A
try,
lot of
you
people
know.
don't paint like a very nice picture of their hometown.
No, they don't. And that's what I'm starting to realize. Like, you can't ask them about their city because they're just gonna shit on it.
And I mean, like, think about it. Like, if you didn't know what you know about touring places and hearing people shit on their town, and you were like 20 or something, and someone came to Lindsay and they're like, "What's there to do in Lindsay?" You'd be like, "Leave."
Yeah, no, that's even right now. Like, I would still say that to someone, knowing what I know about this shit. I'd be like, yeah, no, actually, like Lindsay's trash. Just don't come here.
Whereas, like, yeah, but like, you should say like, "Oh, we've got like this really cool like Academy Theater," or
We do. We
like,
do.
"Look at the nature we've got." Like, find something nice to say.
Yeah, well, I'm starting an event management company, and I'm having an event there next. I'm about to say next year. It is now this year.
Wow.
I can't talk about it on here yet. Yet I will.
Well,
Okay.
please do.
Yeah, please do when you're ready.
Eventually.
And yeah,
Sign the NDAs. Do what you got to do. You're gonna tell us about it anyway.
You'll be ecstatic, Nat. You'll be ecstatic. I can tell you about it off air.
well, we do have the upload time after the chat.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Holy. So yeah, what else do we? Oh, how's mine? Oh, I didn't do nothing over the holidays. I was sick. That's why nobody's heard from me in like a long time.
You were down with the sickness.
This,
Ow.
all of them. But yeah, as you said, Jay, there's a little bit of a music flex happening. So just gonna vibe with it for a minute and see where that takes me and you and whomever else might want to join the party.
Well, I think a big part of creativity is not being bound to places or time.
Yes.
So if you're tied to like, oh, I can only go to a different city to go to a place where I can record, it really sets boundaries on your creativity, I think.
It does.
And having that home recording setup, I think can, oh, I can't sleep. Guess what I'm doing? Going to the next room and gonna tap some shit out and write a song. Like,
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. So kudos to you, sir, for providing me with that initial step to get where I need to be.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
I've really been impressed with the stuff you've been pumping out of there. So
Thanks, man. Thanks. Shout out to Sick and Dime. That's all I can say for now.
yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it sure is. I can't wait. Along with everything else that is in the works.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. I gotta shout out to my girl Holly Dish. She actually re-released her album that she released, I think, back in 2014. Real Eyes, Real Lies, or something to that effect.
Realize.
Yes, something like that.
And we sampled that for our smash hit Chances.
We sure did. We gotta reach out to her, and I noticed she's been liking a lot of our posts as of late, so I think it's time to reach out and see if she's ready to tell us the story of the re-release.
What is involved with a re-release of a digital only is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, because I often toy with the idea of leaving DistroKid, but that would mean that I would have to take everything down and put it back up.
Yes.
With someone else, which is like basically the same thing. Like, they're still gonna charge me every year to have it, or it's gonna cost a lot of money. And I have a few songs that still make me about $400 a year.
That's perfect.
Which covers the label subscription for everybody else's music that I put up.
Fuck, at least there's that. Jesus.
But yeah, my thing is like if I were to cancel that,
Uh-huh.
then it's not only my stuff that comes down, it's like anything that Shizzy's put out, anything that
Yeah.
you put out, anything that anybody
Jordan.
recorded at those studios that I had. Like
Yeah.
that was one of my things, is like, oh, I can put it up for you, but
Yep.
I'm still paying for it.
Yeah.
So I would really like to know what's involved with a digital re-release.
Yeah.
And what are the advantages to maybe switching distributors? And I would love to look at what maybe still needs to be up there and maybe not, and find a cheaper plan somewhere. So maybe we can pick her brain on that too.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to come chat with us.
And anybody listening, I know a lot of our listener base is independent artists as well. So feel free to put something in the comments if you've got a feeling on like different distributors that are better deals right now. I've been with DistroKid for probably 12 years now, but I'm not married to them. And shit, I've been divorced twice in real life. So
we could go find another heifer, right? Yep.
yeah, I mean, at this point, I have 2 instrumental songs that I made like 8 years ago.
Right.
That basically cover the cost of everything else being up there.
Well, that's beautiful.
And that's it. Like, that's it.
I get you. But yeah, no, that's a good conversation piece when you think about it. What are the advantages?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, there is something there.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to go in that route, right? I'd be interested to know.
Well, and also like SJ, who's not hip hop, but she's got some pretty interesting concepts.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure it's not like exclusive to her. I'm sure there's lots of hip hop people doing that kind of stuff too, but she's the first one I've come across. So she's got a song coming out on the 17th, which will have already passed by the time this plays, I think.
Yeah.
Called The Comeback Kid.
Oh.
And I want to say like the second week of December, because I subscribed to her mailing list or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I got an email that said, you have a special invitation to listen to this song like a month before it comes out or whatever it is.
Ooh.
And oh shit. Kenny just replied, he's like, this is for 9, right?
Oh no, sorry buddy, 8 o'clock.
It was for 8. So
you can listen to the song for, check it out the month before it's released.
Oh yes. So it's like, you can check this out a month early, and you click the link, and it's a link to pay $5.
Huh.
And it's like, well, I'm a fan.
Well, yeah.
And I would love to hear this a month early, and you're a good friend of mine and an independent musician and all the rest of it. I'm not a big person of support. It's like, there's enough free music out there. Make it good for me.
Yeah.
But this was enough to pique my interest
that
I was like, yeah, I want to hear this now. I don't want to wait till January. What's $5?
Yeah.
But if like 100 people do that, it pays for the cost of recording, right?
It absolutely does. Now, was that just for one song or for the entire album? $5.
That was just for one song.
Interesting.
Oh, here he is.
Oh,
I am so sorry. I am sitting here in a bathrobe. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
I can hear you. I can hear you so clearly.
Am I late?
Yes, but it's okay.
We want to
because
say
we haven't had a show for like a month and a half because we pre-record a couple weeks in advance, and we had a Christmas break or whatever. So we've had lots of catching up to do. So
you're good still. You're good.
you're great, actually.
Am I? Huh.
Yeah, absolutely. We promised you this last week, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kenny.
Kenny, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on.
And this is a pre-record, by the way. So,
oh, it's all good. If it's one thing that I am about, like what my brand represents, is just being human, right? Like,
absolutely.
How's everyone tonight?
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So, yeah, like we've played a lot of your stuff on the show over the last few years. Not your solo
Really?
specifically, but
Because you have a big
sing-
fan in your
you
boy
sing on
Doc.
a lot of hooks for people that we're down with.
Yes.
Okay. And I never ever get to hear the final product. You know that?
Stop it.
I never get to hear it.
Oh, until they put it out.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh shoot. And usually it's like way afterwards, and I don't realize that it's me. I'm like, who's singing that song? They're like, that's you. I'm like, oh, okay.
So
I forgot.
we are big fans of the underground soul movement here.
Absolutely. Really unique.
B1 and Eddie.
Yes.
Yes.
But we just plugged their show. I'm DJing it in a couple of weeks at on
Awesome.
Street
That's
Center.
dope.
Kenny sings on a lot of their hooks, and I've said it many times before. Like this is music that I play when I'm DJing because it's music that I like to play when I'm DJing. But I listen to it in my house when I'm
Yep.
Oh, I appreciate
laundry.
that.
I listen to it in the car. I have it in my earbuds when I'm going for that's my spare time music.
That's what's up. I like that. Appreciate that. Definitely.
And I spent some time with your most recent album today, and I vibed with it like 3 times.
You liked it, huh?
Yeah.
That one was a very, I don't know. It's one of those albums that is, I don't think I fully accepted it yet.
Okay.
It's kind of just one of those. It details a past that I'm no longer a part of, you know? Like,
Fair.
Yep.
You know, so
Absolutely get it.
definitely. But I'm really glad that I got it out, like, off of my chest, because music is a way to express yourself, right, and move energy. So it was a good experience, and I'm glad that people do like it and like vibe with it.
Mhm.
Definitely.
And
Hey, Zach.
What's going on, man?
you spoke of expression. Recently, I've noticed another form of expression that you've been exercising. That's photography.
Yes.
Y'all are. I did not know you watched me
Yeah.
like that, bro. Stop it. Or stop it. I actually started in June. One of my boys is a photographer. He's been a photographer like 15 years, and he told me the best way to get into it, just to go get a camera. And so I did. I went to the pawn shop, picked up a camera, and I just started clicking, just looking crazy, taking buses all over the city, walking long distances, and just waiting for that perfect moment to capture.
Yeah, the
it.
work looks amazing. Like I've
appreciate
watched
that.
it progress over the last few months as well.
Yeah.
I've been working. I've been trying. One thing that I want to always make sure that I do is humble myself and like know like where I am, right? So I ask for a lot of help, like a lot. I ask a lot of people for a lot of help all the time.
Mhm.
I'm not really ashamed of it. I like, because I have a good I get a lot of joy out of learning something new. So it's really cool to learn new stuff from other people.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
awesome.
So, okay.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of questions, so I'm going to take over, okay?
Okie doke. All right.
I'm Natalie.
While I'm in my bathrobe. Hey, Natalie.
Your boy Dax has told me a lot about you, and
Dax, diggity, Dax. Okay.
we chat all the time. He's his vibe is exactly the vibe that I can flex with. Like, just when he's talking
so
about
cool.
how passionate he can talk about his music and the music of the past, and
Yeah.
where things are now, and all of that good stuff. It's just always a good conversation. I think when we had him on the show, I think we went overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it was
Okay.
a long conversation, but we were all so engrossed in every little piece of it from starting back in the 90s. And I feel like we all lived, like we still do, like the passion of that good raw music from back then that didn't have to rely
Yeah.
on so much computerized instrument. It was like the hard effort of somebody pulling out a saxophone and actually
Of
playing,
course, yeah.
or a violin, or whatever the case may be. Like, being able to pick out all that good stuff. So here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Like Jay said, your album that you released is spot on. Exactly
Oh,
the
thank
type
you.
of
I
vibe
appreciate that.
that I appreciate. What did you say, Jay? He reminds you of what? Dwelle? A mix of Dwelle And
Dwelle.
I said John Legend and Socrates.
oh, John Legend and Socrates.
And Socrates. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the way I stack harmonies. Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I wanted to know, did you end up? Well, tell me like your story about your love for music. Like, where did it begin, and where do you feel like it's going?
It began in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's where the majority of my family is from. And we have a very musically rich family. From there, singing in choirs, and then eventually moving to Canada. And I don't know, my brother, I'm sure you guys know him, Kilohertz, Wayne. Yes, no? You guys familiar?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. He started production like when I was like maybe 13.
Okay.
Wow.
And so he would ask me like to sing on all of his hooks. Like they were little silly songs, but then we kind of incorporated this work ethic where he would create the beats and then I would do the top lines and then the friends would rap on it. And so it kind of evolved from there till where I kind of wanted to kind of start doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And working with local artists and other artists, doing a lot of like writing and just trying different stuff, just trying what works, and trying what feels good.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward music discovery. Like it wasn't.
So did you grow up in Fort Lauderdale then?
I did, yeah. I spent a nice chunk of my childhood until coming to Canada.
Okay. Yeah. So where before Fort Lauderdale?
Okay. So, full disclaimer: I was born in Toronto.
Okay.
And then at 6 months old, my mother flew us all back down to Florida, in which we spent a nice chunk of our childhood, and then came back up here. So, so when it comes to my childhood, I mostly remember like palm trees and like lizards, right? So, but then I remember like obviously winter and everything because then I became a teenager. So.
Man, that's a rude awakening, right?
I know, that's what I was about to say.
To spend like half of your childhood at the Aventura Mall and then come here.
Yeah, be heartbreaking a little bit.
I mean, I didn't know any better, so. But I mean, it's definitely been a journey thus far. So.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So, what artists, either now or back then, give you motivation to do what you do?
They give me motivation. I'd say honestly it's I don't have favorites. It's just anybody. It's anything that I hear that either is like unique or has something that's distinct is something that I kind of like gravitate towards. I think the latest one is his name is Chromanichi. He's a producer / singer. I'll give you guys his links.
Yes,
amazing artist and producer. But just has like a lot of like psychedelic harmonies and just like a lot of soul. And he's just what I'm fixated on right now. So, but I always keep my ears open and like it's anything, right? I'm really trying to lean on like writing better songs, right? And for me to do that, I have to be open to experiences that other people may not be, right? Like I always have to keep listening, right? And that's for any genre, right? I love every genre, from rock to country. I have country songs I've never ever released, but like, yeah, I like it all as long as it's a good song.
Beautiful.
That's a really good way to sum things up. Like, there's just good music. Like. Absolutely. Like, why put a boundary on it?
I can agree with that.
Well, there's also bad music, but that's subjective, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean, if a song makes somebody feel something and I don't like it, it still did its purpose for someone else, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who am I to decide what's good?
Yeah.
Although I hope if you're listening to this show, you feel that I have good opinions on that.
Absolutely. But you said that you're a DJ, right? So you're obviously playing, right? So
yeah, and I try to play. What I kind of pride myself on is I play local and independent music in as many public settings as possible.
Yep.
Yo, good on you.
So
man.
Like if I have a restaurant gig, like your stuff's coming out.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about that actually.
What, me?
Yes,
Are we
Oh, okay.
because the spelling of your artist name looks really cool. But I'm going to tell you, as a DJ, when you're like in a crowded location, you're like, "Oh, what's that Kenny song?" And you're like, "Fuck, how does it? Oh, what do I have to hold?" And then I'm in a restaurant and I'm scrolling through hundreds, maybe thousands of Daxflow messages looking for a link.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. First off, I just like to say, one of my producers, his name is Sprox. He actually touched on this like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's like, "Why did you spell it that way?" And I said, "There's the biggest reason is that I have the most basic name out there. It's Kenny. Like so if you type it in Google, it's gonna take you to Kenny Rogers, Kenny wherever, bro. So I was like, shit, how do you say your name without it having to go someplace? So I just came up with the characters, and I knew I'm like, this might cause an issue. However, if I can work on building a brand around
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
networking with as many people as possible, then eventually it'll be easy enough to just type and it'll pop up.
So
Yes.
what is that line above the E? Like, what's that last character actually called?
That is, I think it's called a Spanish E.
A Spanish
I thought
E.
that was
Okay.
I thought that was an EXR Degu. Like
Oh
in
no,
French.
that's one of that one's got a bit of an angle.
Oh,
This one's straight.
it's
It's a
literally
Spanish E.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full disclaimer, I am not Spanish in any way. I just thought it looked cool. I was like, oh, that's a
But
line.
to
Okay,
what
cool.
Nat said earlier about Daxflow, I've learned about so much of your music through him as well. He's one of my favorite artists ever, from any genre
love
and
Dax,
any
man.
location. Like I can listen to that guy. He sounds so effortless
Effort.
over any
Yeah,
kind
he
of beat.
does.
And I know it takes, thousands of hours of practice to sound effortless, but he's done that.
Absolutely.
And when he sends me a link for something, he's like, "I think you'll mess with this." I take it very seriously.
Me too.
Dax is very talented, but he's also a very, very good person.
Mhm.
And I think that's what makes his entire artistry better, right? It's that he's relatable and he's also a nice person. So
And he's out here rooting for you for sure.
I know. He always comes on the live streams and shouts me out. He has this little. He calls me Kendall.
Kendall.
He's the only one that calls me Kendall. He'll always jump into the chat, Kendall, and I'm like, damn, Dax. What's up, Dax? You good? Kendall. I'm like, okay. People are like, who is he talking to? I'm like, he's talking about me. That's not my name though, but he said it for years now. So
That's awesome.
So how did you come to meet like Daxflow and Eddie Jones and Stay Cool?
I met Dax at one of his shows like a long time ago. I think I was like maybe 19. I'm 39 now, so that'll put things into perspective. That was a long ass time ago. Either maybe 20 or 21.
Okay.
Sorry. But yeah, but through Eddie Jones, I think it was a show somewhere in Oshawa, somewhere,
Mhm.
and I met him. He's definitely, you cannot not spot him, at least back in the day, right? He was a bigger guy, right?
Yeah.
So kind of reminded me of Biggie, especially the way that he would rap. I'd be like, yo, this kind of reminded me of Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
But super cool energy, super cool guy.
Mhm.
Just kind of kicked it right away.
He is my most interacted person with on Facebook Messenger.
Same here.
That is crazy.
And as a sound guy, I'm gonna tell you, it sucks getting like 15 voice messages in an hour when you're working at a gig, because they're like, "Oh, you definitely got something to say, but I'm here for another 6 or 7 hours."
I love
Very
it.
true. Very true.
Love it. That's dope.
And,
so do you have I have a question, Jay. Does he
go for it.
have shows coming up at all?
So about that, I have projects coming out.
Okay.
I have no shows booked here. Everything that I will be doing in the future right now is all being orchestrated on the West Coast in BC. It's where I've been heading back and forth to, right? For some other things that I won't really discuss on this right now.
That's fine.
So I've been doing a real big push right now to start getting more more social media presence, right? So doing more live shows and kind of showcasing my producing skills because I'm just getting into production, and I've essentially just been trying to build a community of other like-minded creatives or people who just want to listen in and vibe, just creating music from scratch
Yeah,
and trying to be entertaining, but also trying to be like a space where people can just kind of vibe out.
I like that.
And so, no shows
No
right now,
shows.
but projects, lots of projects.
All
Did
right.
you produce any of the instrumentals on your last album?
No, I did not. I did not produce. There were 5 tracks from one of them. His name's Sprox. I don't know if you guys have
Yep.
heard him. Big
Sprox.
Big Sprox.
Yeah.
And then my brother Kilohertz, and then my cousin Ron got the recipe. I don't know if you see him on Instagram. He's the one that says pick 1, 2, or 3, and he starts like playing the drums. Have you seen any of his
but I
stuff?
should add
Oh,
that sounds
He
like something I would like.
I'm gonna.
He just started popping. He's
Okay.
actually so talented. He has this series where you pick one of 3 beats, right? And he just jumps on the drums live and starts playing it. Goes, pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, and people chime in. They engage, and he's just a really cool dude, like vibing out. So I have a couple of songs with him on the last album, and then my brother, and then Sprox.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. But the next album's gonna be mostly all me, so mostly all me. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And I want to commend you on the order that you put the tracks.
Okay.
Because I didn't notice as they were changing.
Yeah.
I just noticed when it got to the end and it stopped.
Yeah.
So that's the mark of a good mastering job and good track order selection.
Yeah, I had a few people on my team. I think Dax was also one of them. I believe it was Dax and Chris,
I can understand.
my brother. Yeah, we're just asking them like, listen to the songs. Where do you think they all stand, right? Like, and where? And so
it flows very nicely. Like it's I don't know what any of the songs are called because you just put it on at the beginning. I know there's one about mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's I listened to the whole album 3 times today and I didn't notice when any of the tracks were changing. So,
oh man, awesome. We had a really good engineer. His name is Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Mix, yes. So you obviously know Fame, right? Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, they did a really good job. Honestly, technically, definitely. And the way that we tackled the vocals, I really wanted them to be separate from the actual beat itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen to it, they almost feel separate.
Yes.
And I kind of wanted it to like be that way because number one, I am talking about addiction, right? And so addiction is a very polarizing topic.
It is.
And so that's why I kind of wanted the vocals to sit separate from the way that it doesn't sit in the beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's kind of separated. So but yeah, it was a good experience. Everyone that came and pitched in and production wise and mixing wise, they did an amazing job. I'm super happy. On to the next one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On to the next one.
So your music's pretty diverse, I would say, and I think that's probably a reflection of what you listen to.
Yeah, that's a gift and a curse. Pitching my music to curators, which is the new form of being discovered, right? Is like getting put on playlists.
Yeah.
That's
And a lot of the pitches that I give them, they often not tell me, they're like, yo, bro, like we don't know where to place your music because it's kind of just doesn't really have a distinctive genre.
I would place your music in a setting where people are paying 5 times as much for drinks as they need to.
Yeah.
They're dressed really nicely.
Yeah.
There's probably some kind of granite bar. It's like a very
Really?
Yeah.
Your stuff is
Oh wow.
I play
you.
your stuff
Appreciate
in
that.
high-end like cocktail situations. Like
You play some of my songs about addiction?
yes. Not those ones necessarily, but yeah, man. Like I dig into the like that's kind of my niche. Is I play like
Wow.
I think that DJs should be breaking records, and there's something about hearing something in public organically for the first time. And I know that the curators make it all now, but I really think that if you're out somewhere and you hear something, you're like, what is that? Like, I love it when people come up to me like, what are you playing right now?
What did you just play? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because it might sound different than what's already being played on the radio and like Spotify. That makes sense.
and it's quite often people that I either interview on the show or I DJ for their other performances, or like, it's a system.
Love it. Wow, man, that's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Now, I guess I don't have to talk to you about your intellectual property and stuff, right? And protecting it.
Copyright, you mean? Like, I'm sorry. Wait, you said you have to talk to me about it?
No,
or-
I feel like I don't have to. The way that you're talking, it sounds like you know you got to protect your shit. Meaning,
Oh yes, of course. I mean,
meaning, like you register your work.
of course, yes.
Natalie's the
yes.
licensing watchdog for the show. Former SoCan employee.
SoCan. You know, the funny thing is, I haven't registered something with SoCan in a long time. So I would absolutely love to discuss that afterwards if you want to.
Sure.
On it, I don't think it's more about like how to do it. Just like I think it's more their relevance in today's market. Like, are they still needed? Because I mean,
There's other pros out there.
Yeah, like there's other DSPs that monitor where your stuff gets placed and how many times it gets played. So it'd be interesting to see what SoCan has to offer nowadays, right?
And then there's also Kilometer Music Group, something that we can talk about that after.
Absolutely, I love learning. I love learning, definitely.
Awesome. So before we go, because we know
go,
we're
go,
all night. Huh?
Go.
No, before we let him go. No. You have to give me 3 songs that you want us to play. Doesn't matter if they're your songs. I don't care. It just has to be part of the playlist where we cap off the evening.
You can play my newest single, Learn.
Okay.
There's Learn. I want to put. Let me go see one of Dax's songs. Didn't Dax just come out with something? I swear he just did. Oh no, Eddie and B1.
Yes.
They just came out with a single.
So we've got actually 2 other songs we're gonna play tonight. The Essence, Beautiful. And then there's one that's like in a different language. The name of the song's a different language. They just sent it to me. It's not out yet.
Yeah, play that one with Eddie and B1. And I could give you guys something that I've. Oh no, never mind. Don't do that yet.
Why?
Courier de Bois by B1 and Eddie Jones and the Essence.
That's funny.
That one's not out yet, but we'll play it.
Yeah. And whatever your instincts were saying, Mr. Over there, you're changing your mind about something, and I feel like you probably shouldn't.
I was gonna say maybe I could give you guys something that hasn't been released as of yet, but I'm just trying to see the state of the mix.
Okay. You check it all out. Let us know.
And where would I send it? Could I send that here or?
Probably, yeah. If you send it to like doingthemusic@gmail, then we'll just get it in the program.
Yeah.
Doing the music. I really hope it's the right version. Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do is I will send you something that I've been working live like on like TikTok and on Bigo and IG.
Hey.
Funny story. IG blocked me for playing my own stuff because I had released it and I forgot. but it wasn't like I played it. I actually sang it live.
And it sounded so much like the recording that it flagged.
Yeah, so now IG has temporarily blocked me from going on live for some weird reason. So, but I found out that I wasn't allowed to play it because once you release it, at least it shows that the system works, right?
True enough.
True enough.
Right, like, so I can't really be mad at the fact that the algorithm worked to stop somebody from.
There goes my plan of doing my Kenny concert later.
What did you say it was? Doing the music, right?
Yeah,
there it is, right there. All right, I will put in I'll put in 2, but only play 1. How's that?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, beautiful. I will send that in as soon as possible. I just want to first of all say thank you so much for having me on. I do apologize again that I was running late. In my robe. Zach,
right?
But
it's been a blast. I'm glad we got to catch up. I'm just joking with you.
Sorry, I don't say much. I'm the producer of the show. I edit everything, so I'm just.
Gotcha. That makes sense. By the way, I love your hair, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love yours as well. I love you.
Absolutely. Just let it grow. Let it grow. I forgot what I was saying before then, but either way, I will send you 2. Just play 1.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you guys so much for the opportunity to talk about anything. You guys are super cool. Dax was the one that told me to reach out to you, by the way.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he said go and message, and I was all right, cool. So,
Yeah, he's
so I
the
definitely.
best.
Oh man, he's amazing. He's great energy, great vibes. Just a really cool guy.
Him and I are gonna collaborate one day. It's gonna happen.
You sing?
Yes, I do.
Okay then. So, did you have anything that you want to send me that I can listen to? Because usually I'll be on TikTok and I'll play other people's music, right, just to showcase their like talent.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I tell everybody to come and chill, come and vibe. Let's play some beautiful music, and then let's make some music. So.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay.
Absolutely.
Jay, what do you?
She said cute.
Yeah.
Which one?
What's that?
Which one do you think we should show him?
I think you should show him one of the classics, and then maybe the one that's not out yet.
Okay.
Boy. Okay. Yeah, that one that's not out yet is. I'm trying to maintain my composure.
Yeah, that one's gonna be sweet. It'll be sweet. So the other songs you will hear on our show tonight are Super Caliente and Imperative, and that's Killigan's Island. Danio and Century, Turn It Around. It's Cold Outside by S and DJ Merciless and DJ Yoda. Courier de Bois by B1 and Eddie. And The Essence by B1 and Eddie.
Yeah, buddy.
And we would like to thank you for tuning in this week.
Thank you, everyone.
Please come back next week.
We'll be here.
We will be.
As always.
Until next time. Keep fit and have fun.
We're such assholes.
Keep fit and have fun.